Hi, I'm Jennifer Head, and I'm I'm manager of government operations at Windstream Communications, an MBA student, and a lifelong stutterer. The goal of any corporation is to maximize on the collective productivity and 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 synergy of its employees as a means to achieve um, desired financial results. And my research suggests that the most successful companies both understand and deliberately cultivate an organizational culture of inclusivity and diversity as 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 a critical component of success. When I began my research, I I I really thought that I was going to concentrate specifically on stuttering and other invisible disabilities in the workplace. But then I got kind of, of stuck on the 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 so what. Am I I I advocating for some sort of 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 universal accommodation for stutterers, because there's not really any speaking machine um, to help me do my job. And I also didn't want to propose something ridiculous like we need to normalize ex, 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 exclusive written communication for the sake of 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 stutterers, because that's not going to it's 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 not going to fix anything either. I just really want to use my skills and ideas to advance the goals of the company. So ultimately, I realized that what I wanted to research wasn't so much about accessibility by way of accommodation as it was accessibility by way of inclusivity. I discovered critical disability theory early in my research, which holds that disability and ability are fundamentally produced rather than discovered. That is, you are only disabled if the cultural leaders, be they social or organizational, have decided that you are in some way a subset of able. And Pavier and Devlin argue further that disability is merely a question of politics and power. That is, power over and power to. Critical disability critical disability theory also contends that the notion of disability extends beyond physical or mental manifestations to include gender, race, orientation, religion, ethnicity, and the list goes on. From here, I wanted to better understand how organizations that work to create this culture of accessibility by way of inclusivity, how they see impacts to the bottom line. One particularly striking example of the perils of mindless repetition of a normative ability profile is Gomper and Cavalli's 2018 study of venture capitalist firms. The industry is notoriously dominated by white Ivy League educated men, and the researchers wanted to see the impacts of a disruption to this formula. Their research found a negative correlation between similarity of the investment partners and the performance of their investments. For instance, the success rate of acquisitions and IPOs was 11.5% lower on average on investments by partners with shared school backgrounds than for those by partners from different schools. The effect of shared ethnicity was even stronger, reducing an investment's comparative success rate by 26.4% to 32.2%. Thriving in a highly uncertain and competitive environment requires creative thinking, and the diverse collaborators were better equipped to deliver it. And enterprises are catching on. 2/3 of the 10,000 leaders surveyed in Deloitte's 2017 Global Human Capital Trends Report cited diversity and inclusion as important or very important to business. Okay, so how do we get there? Well, organizations that want to get to this cultural Eden must understand it is a deliberate and continuous journey that takes a tremendous commitment and fidelity to the mission from management and executive leadership, and also relies particularly heavily on middle managers, where most employees have interactions with the capital C company. It is here in this relationship and in localized work environment where the culture is set and reinforced through daily moments of truth.